Hello there and welcome to a brand new video. In today's video I want to say my piece about what Anime Vanguards is doing, but specifically everything that started was Paisef or Kazi's message about the Monarch balance, which sparked a whole nother controversy. Besides that, I'm gonna talk about next video about the problems. I'm gonna debate some of his ideas because I am not totally sure he went totally into them, and I'm gonna be doing all of this in one take because I'm on a bit of a rush, so if I stutter, please understand why. First of all, the bicep message that started everything about why the game is monarch reliant, quote unquote. Like we can see in the first sentence of the statement that the statement of monarch being reliant in anime vanguards is flat out true, which I'm not totally against, but I'm not totally for as well. In which he says for the multi ultra competitive game modes like infinites and trade enabled modes, like yeah, maybe. But again, reliant means you really kind of need it, and you're relying on that particular monarch on clearing something, because otherwise there is no chance for you to clearing it. Well, I'm not totally for that. He goes on to say about reefs and how they're meant for 4 people. Now you can clear them even without monarchs, which is totally right. Even Yuha now, it's a bit hard, but you can still clear it without even using any monarchs. He goes on to say that it's not monarch reliant, and he goes on to say about the X stage, which I'm gonna go on depth later in this video, so stay tuned. Because I'm totally against the idea. No, I'm totally for the idea that you kind of rely on monarch on clearing an X stage. Because to be completely honest, I'm not even gonna lie, I used Kaguya a lot on clearing the X stage, the new X stage, I mean. But one thing that people don't understand is that X stage is supposed to be multiplayer stages. So the fact that you can solo it with just one monarch, it's a privilege or luxury. So the fact that people say that you need monarch Kaguya to particularly clear and you rely on it, of course, because you're trying to doing it solo, it's gonna be hard. It's not even easy if you're trying to solo it with Kaguya Monarch. Trust me, it's not easy. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose, but more often than not, you can lose. Again, then afterwards he goes on to say about the new boss rush, that if you utilize all the mechanics, it will take you around 10 minutes, which is totally true. I've tried that out. And if you try to brute force your way to it, again, just because of having broken units and not even giving it a try, the new ones, like you're using Vanguard Sanjinu, Kaguya, Seed maybe, or something like that, it's gonna take you even more. So totally fair. It's your choice. You want to clear it faster, you kind of grind the update, and it will be easier for you, or you can just brute force it and take it longer for you. It's your choice after all. He goes on to say about why they bring back the X stage, and in that statement, I'm totally for what he said. The X stage is something that is not mandatory anymore. You only do it if you want extra rewards, which is totally a good idea. If you don't want to do it, just do the other Legend stage. Legend stage 3, if you want, you get iron from there as well. You get key from there as well. If you want to make it harder for yourself, go do stage 4 solo with a good monarch, or with others. It's totally up to you. You don't have to play 4, even though it kind of seems easier. You're gonna struggle even more. For the next part, I'm gonna talk about what Nagato had to say in his video, which I dissected word by word, hopefully. But I already think I lost some of y'all, so here are some reels from Anime Last End, because I know most of you are fans on Anime Last End. I'm gonna leave them in the top right, so that I will have your attention, you know? You will understand later on the video why I said what I said. But before I talk the video, I want to talk about the following message that came, and that was when Paisev and the dev team decided to roll down the Monarch PT. To be totally fair with you guys, I am not against this idea. What I'm up against is it rolling it down to 1500. If it was rolled down from 2500 to 2000, I would have been totally for it. But 1500, I think it's too much of a change, and I'm gonna explain that later on the video, because Nagato goes into depth about this change, and I want to debate that idea. Now, going on about what Nagato said in his video, I'm gonna be using bits and pieces of his video, and I'm gonna debate them, telling you what I feel is wrong about it, or what he didn't explain enough of, and if I think he was right or wrong about some of them. Because in this video, he was right and wrong at the same time with so many things. And the very first thing that I saw, which kind of pissed me off, not gonna lie,
As someone that actually plays the game,
as someone who plays the game, I think this is already a known fact, but Nagato, you do not play the game. This, this plays the game for you, not yourself. This. If you don't know what this is, you will find out in his video or later down in today's video of mine. But we all know, everybody who watches Nagato already knows he's not playing the game. And I even have some proof of that, which I'm gonna show later down in this video.
which is the length between updates, and is in fact a great factor for the decline of the game. Now,
He talks about the length of the updates, which is totally known already. Everybody hates the length of the updates. Like 4 weeks for an update, which has like minimal gameplay. Of course, nobody's gonna like it. Personally, I think that will succeed if they make updates each 3 weeks and they make that consistent. Every 3 weeks, we get an update. Everybody will be happy. Unfortunately, it's not that easy.
longer, and they are a lot grindier. ALS updates, honestly, you can grind them in a day. They are not meant to be insane time wasters because, well, there's going to be another update in a week. They can take 2 weeks to beat, right?
He's making a very good point. The updates do take longer to finish because it will take longer for us to get an update compared to Animal Ascent, which can finish an update within 1 or 2 days, depending if it's a godly update or not. Of course, it has to take longer to finish. But again, 4 weeks it's long enough. 3 weeks is the threshold that I will set. Like the goal. An update each 3 weeks is the answer.
Right? Anime Vanguards, I still don't have Kaguya.
In my opinion, you haven't played enough. Everybody who played the update already has Kaguya.
Conversation. The grind for EV updates is typically a lot longer, while the quality of the update is frankly the same as an ALS update.
He says that the updates are similar, yet I do not see that point of view. And even he, later down the video, will dispute his own freaking ideas, especially this one, that the updates are similar. Basically, he debunks himself later down the video.
Which is just a harder version of it, okay? Story, sure. Still no story skip, by the way.
Jiggle jiggle, stay here. He goes on to say about the story skipper. Why do you need a story skipper in Anime Vanguards? There are only 9 story maps. Compare that to Animal Ascend, which has like a gajillion. Of course you're gonna need a story skipper. Think about Anime Adventure, who added a story skipper after 15 or 20 maps. Why do you need one when there are not even 10? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, but it has original OSTs. Okay, I don't care about that. I don't think anyone does.
Original OSTs. Even he said after that, which I cut myself, that they do not matter. Most of the players do not even care. But the fact that you mention only the OSTs gives me the idea that you haven't really played the update and you haven't realized how hard it is. Even though you're going to cry about not being able to do the X stage, yet you haven't yet tried the update yourself. Because they added a lot more than just OSTs.
And there's a couple. I think this is the biggest one. I think that the biggest reason why AV is declining, and you see it literally every single time you open Discord, you go on any chat and people are talking about this. The difficulty of the game is outrageous.
We're going to talk about the difficulty of the game. Well, of course we want a difficult game. We don't want something easy. You don't want some slop that you just play something down and you do not do anything and it's easy. Because last time when this happened, last time when we made something way too easy, something like this happened. And I don't want this to happen to Anime Vanguards. And I think most people do not want that either. In this clip, he says that he went 11 and they lowered the VT from 15 to 10, which clearly shows how much he plays. Clearly.
They have been releasing over the past couple of months a bar, a mana, or like, what is the actual name of the little bar? Doesn't matter.
Some little education, amigo. It's called the meat. And of course they have to somewhat nerf it because of course they kind of went overboard with it, adding all the units having a meter bar. But of course they kind of have to have a counter because otherwise they will be just broken. Yes, credit where credit is due. They made it way too broken the way it was. I have nothing to say there. They went overboard with the meter nerf.
To death. Do I have one? Let's see. I don't have one, unfortunately. But the Land of the God stage is insanely hard for a couple of reasons. And keep in mind, these portals are meant to be like beaten millions of times. What number is that? 3 billion flowers to get. So it's millions of times. Either way, in the Land of the God stage, the bosses have regen. Every boss in this game has regen for some reason. I don't know why, they love regen. So you need to bring a bleed character. But guess what? A lot of the elements, like cosmic, if there's a cosmic? Yeah, cosmic enemy. Cosmic enemies and other enemies in a small radius are immune to status effects, so you can't bleed them. So you have a regen enemy that you have a regen enemy that has infinite regen. Like, you do 1,000,000 damage to them, they regen that million in an instant. Like, I've never seen any regen in any game as insane as Anime Vanguards, which has to be designed to inconvenience you. Like, it has to be designed to, like, if you don't use a bleed character, you physically cannot beat this.
I cannot even believe that I have to talk about this, to be honest. He talks about doing portals for Kaguya. Particularly, he's saying about Land of Gods. Well, I'm not even gonna mute myself or to clip the video, and I wanna ask, why are you doing Land of Gods when there is Edge of Heaven, which is hell a lot easier, and of course, Planet Namak, which is a billion times easier? Why are you struggling with Planet of Gods? Are you freaking nuts? Or is your friend informal playing for you and not yourself? Like, this is freaking outrageous! Just play the other two maps instead of Land of Gods. It's just that easy. From my point of view, he's basically bitching for having to play.
Game right now is the greediest tower defense game, bar none. And they could, escape that criticism back when Anime Adventures was still a thing, but it's not. So as it stands, this game is the greediest tower defense game. It is the only game you cannot infinitely farm rerolls that is popular right now. You can infinitely farm rerolls in ALS, you can infinitely farm rerolls in AW2DX.
You know, I personally do not understand this take. The one with infinite reals grind. Like, we are not playing Anime Last Stand. We are not playing Anime All-Star Tower Defense. We are playing Anime Vanguards. I'm sorry that Anime Last Stand baby feed you rerolls. Quite literally, Anime Last Stand feeds you for breeding in the game. I'm sorry that Anime Vanguards does not do the same. They are two different games with two different mechanics, which I'm gonna talk about later, about the traits, because they do not make sense. And the traits are a big part on why there is a difference in trade reals grind. Which he talks about, don't take me wrong, Nagato takes that information clearly, but he doesn't go in depth into it.
Kind of, if you have informal, which is a macro designed for Anime Vanguards because it's so inconvenient, can barely tiny task this game,
So, ladies and gentlemen, we heard it from the horse's mouth. He's using informal, like this thing, because he doesn't know how to play himself. You gotta be kidding me.
has a premium price tag. If you want to have Monarch characters, for the most part, unless you get very lucky, you're gonna have to buy rerolls, and that is by design because this game was meant to be an Anime Adventures relaunch. That's what it was. There's no arguing that. It legitimately, that's what it was. It was Anime Adventures relaunch, but slightly better.
He's totally right. Anime Vanguards was a rebrand of Anime Adventure, but with better mechanics. And just like in Anime Adventure, you did not need Unique or Monarch to clear most of the stages. It would have been good. It's good to have the best turret in the game, but it wasn't needed. That's the idea. Maybe in Anime Adventure was needed in the end of the game. Let me show you two clips which I think are important for the context.
Sasuke, because I'm gonna end on Godspeed or Divine, whichever I get first. I'll take it. Ooh, right now. Or Storm, whatever. So I'm assuming this one is also. Oh, there it is. Now, done. I promise. I mean, it's really 50-50. Every time you click reroll, it's a 50-50 chance of getting Monarch. Either you get it or you don't. And I got it.
So in my opinion, as a tower defense player, which one would you prefer? The one where you're like, okay, just like another business day, getting that freaking glitch on Animal Last Stand, or being excited when you actually are getting something valuable. Where is the passion of playing? Where is the hard sweat and tears for that one thing? Non-existent. Because infinite reals, my friend. We need infinite reals.
right? Aren't micromanaging all of their characters at once every single time they want to be legend stage. Which, by the way, oh, it's a bit challenging, but it's doable. It's a bit challenging, but it's doable. You need to do it 75 times for pity. This stage is hard, right?
So he goes on again to bitch about having to play the game. Nagato, we know you don't play the game. Your friend, Informal, plays the game for you, not yourself. We already know that. You see this? You see this? That's you. That's you using it. That's you using it. What pisses me off the most is he acts like he's playing the game himself when not even 80% of his gameplay is himself. It's a freaking engine running the game for him. That's what's pissing me off in this video the most.
Portals are insanely hard. The Planemic one is a bit more manageable, but portals are insanely hard for no reason. I've never seen portals hard like this in any other game. They are designed with Monarch in mind. If you disagree, you are delusional. It's beatable without it's
So apparently I'm delusional for thinking that portals are doable without a monarch. Well then great! Why do we have units from a particular certain banner which are buffed for that thing? Which you have to use either way so that you get extra rewards. I might be crazy, but am I delusional? Most likely. And saying that they are hard, did you even play the game? Maybe they are hard for the beginners, but for an average player, not at all. I mean, if we are talking about Anime Vanguards, which is pretty easy apparently, which you need Monarch for. Let's talk about Anime Last Stand, where you need Glitch or Avatar to clear them, apparently, because otherwise there is no freaking chance. It takes you around 2 or 3 Tier 5 portals for one 10 pull and PT. It's not even guaranteed the unit that you want, like in any banner should be. So you need to do 2 or 3 portals in Animal Last Stand so that you will be able to do one 10 pull. And mathematically speaking, one portal takes you around 5 minutes. One portal in Anime Vanguards takes you 7 minutes. So it takes you double the time for a 10 pull, while in Anime Vanguards you can get 2, even more if you get a chest and you get some flowers from there. But let's say you get 2 pulls for 7 minutes. So basically for one 10 pull in Anime Last Stand, you get 4 in Anime Vanguards. Math. It's pissing me off. He didn't do anything. He just poked out of his ass. Quite literally. But how would you know, Nagato? Please tell me, how would you know? You don't even play your games. You either tiny test them, macro them, or informal them. You do not play the game. So stop talking like you do. Maybe you try it once, maybe twice, maybe for an hour at most, because your attention span, it's dead.
I think if toned down a little bit, if it wasn't required to use Kaguya, or designed with Monarch, Attack on Titan characters in mind, which just released, come on, it would have been a fine stage. You only have to do it 10 times now. It was 15, I think. 10 times now for the Aaron drop, sure. But look at the rest of the game.
I am delusional. Again, he doesn't know how many he needs to do for PT. Second of all, he thinks that he should be able to solo the AOT where you need Kaguya from. Again, Kaguya is a luxury to have with Monarch, and it was so hard for me to get. And I got lucky with the Monarch, to be completely honest, but I got it in 800 reals. It wasn't even cheap. And the problem that I have with him talking about the X stage is that he thinks he should be able to solo it. He thinks he's privileged on the soloing the X stage, which should be very hard. You shouldn't be able to do it. You shouldn't be able to solo it. That's the idea. It's a stage automatically created so that you have to come up with a certain strategy to be able to solo it or to play with more people. I'm sorry, not everyone is macroing like you do 24/7 and has somebody else to play with. The egg stage is a full-on strategy stage or a full-on brutal stage. Because again, I've done it solo tens of times. I can even show you. I've done it only 16 times, but I've done them solo. And trust me when I say I lost 20 times just because it's just so tricky to clear it. Even with Kaguya, you're quite literally fucked trying to solo it. I was just too arrogant to ask for help of my viewers in the stream. He goes on to say about him doing the Legend Stage 3 because he cannot clear the Act 4 alone. He's going on and saying 75 times. That's outrageous. You can go and check on for yourself. Again, you're bitching about playing a fucking game. How are you able to bitch so much about playing? Why are you even playing at that point, to be completely fair? Why?
passives, and most importantly, Vanguard units. This new update, Attack on Titan. Personally, I like Attack on Titan. A lot of people like Attack on Titan. A lot of people are really upset at how the characters were picked because Eren sucks ass. And he's the protagonist. And this seems to happen a lot. Update 6.5. Who are these characters? I'm sorry, other than Invincible, no one cared about anyone else. Rudius has some fans, they're weird, but Invincible was like,
I mean, I have something to say. I paused the video. If you look there in the middle above, there is a unit called Merlin. Yes, from the anime Seven Deadly Sins. So you're telling me that your channel that made you popular to begin with, the Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross game, here is your face. This is your channel. This is the channel that I followed you on. I unsubscribed, of course, because I wasn't playing Seven Deadly Sins anymore. This is the channel that you made, and yet you do not acknowledge or you do not like that Merlin is in the game that you play and like. You ignore that fact, you ignore your past, or at least something that you like. And at this point, who cares? The units are cool. Yeah, Hibana is just outright useless. Merlin is just a support. Rudius, everybody knows he's a pedo or whatever they say they are, a PDF file. And surprisingly, Arc, even though barely anybody knew who Arc was, everybody loves that unit, or likes it at least. And Kaguya, let's not even talk about Kaguya because she's. I mean, most of the people were against her. Like, it was 50-50. Some people liked her, some people hated her. But look at her now. Everybody wants her because she's just so broken, which he goes on to say many, many times in this video. And Invincible, of course, everybody wanted Invincible because it's Invincibles. But the following, look at the following take, which pissed me off.
who's picking these characters? What a random mishmash of garbage. In Kaguya, I was fine with Kaguya being the Vanguard. She's like the final villain of Naruto, but a lot of people don't like Kaguya as a character. I don't like her as a character either, by the way. Terrible, terrible. The worst part of Naruto is the ending. I can go on for an hour. Man, I read Naruto recently, like a year ago. So good, Naruto's so good. And then the war starts and you're like, ugh. And then Kaguya happens and you're like, oh my god, this is awful. Anyway, 6.0. Do I even have to talk about 6.0? Do I?
Please do talk about 6.0. What was the problem about 6.0? Please go ahead. The only thing that was fucked up in that update was the PvP game mode, which is totally understandable. But the units, they are alright. They are good units. What about the stage? Oh, come on. The freaking maps are cool looking and they are actually very good. What fucks you over? The freaking act stage. Alright, it's an act stage. It's supposed to be multiple people. Go for it. Okay, I just got called by my friend and we found some interesting news which will be late in the last seconds of the video, so check that out. Nagato might have been bought out by a certain somebody with money and a certain game called Anime Last Stand. Go to the last seconds of the video to see that.
One of them was the world line units, and a lot of people were very upset how Sid was done because he just wasn't that great, and no one really cares about Delta that much.
So he's talking to the past because everybody, yeah, they didn't like John Smith and Shadow, aka Seed, how it was done. But now everybody loves the unit because they understood how the unit works. In the beginning, it was confusing, but now he's a very good unit, especially John Smith, which is very good, especially when you're doing anything else. If you do not have like Vanguard Sanjino, you don't want to grind for him, and you're not lucky with any other Vanguard units. Seed is a freaking substitute for them because he can do so many. And if you don't have Kaguya, just use Arc. They are basically the same unit. But how should he know when he's not playing the game? I'm not gonna show the clip. He goes on to say, "What is Katakuri doing in Anime Vanguards? Why didn't they wait for an One Piece update?" At this point, I think he's trolling. There is no freaking way. They said that they are doing him testing the waters with copyright issues because One Piece, as we know, is very copyrighted. And he was a Wordline unit. It's a standalone unit, like an Invincibles, like that, like Subaru. Okay, Subaru was added, there is Zero, Emilia, and Ram, but they were a standalone unit. They are testing the waters, how the community are feeling about them. That's the idea of Wordline. And the following, it's gonna be like a 5-6 minutes rant about two good takes, in my total opinion. He goes on the rant saying why Astolfo is so unnecessary. It's not worth grinding for her. It's not worth it, and he's totally right. Like, you go to his video and check that segment out. He's totally right in the Astolfo. Like, he doesn't have any misses there. And the following take is that units are based not on what the community wants, it's based on what the developers and owners want. And that's very visible, especially in the later things. I mean, they made a poll asking the community what anime they want in the game. Mostly people voted Hunter x Hunter. Wow, we got baited that it's Hunter x Hunter in the last sneak, and apparently it was AOT. A good play, Anime Vanguards. I really loved it. And let's not forget about the Guilty Gear. They added that just because they wanted. They felt like it was good for the freaking PvP game mode. The freaking PvP game mode, as Nagato said, it's freaking dead, so it doesn't make much sense. But now the Guilty Gear units are kind of good, even though barely anybody knows about them. They are highly forgotten because they are not based on an anime, or at least not on a popular one.
He's immune to bullshit that this game has. He's immune to the inconveniences this game has, the attack lower on the Legacy stage, all the weird random stuns, explosive enemies, the range lower on this new stage. He's immune to bullshit.
He's totally right. There are units that are immune to bullshit. I cannot debate that one. He's again right.
On the new stage, immune to all status effects. Are you really gonna tell me range lower is not a status effect? It's a status effect.
No, it's not. This is where a lot of players make the mistake. Anime Vanguards did something very smart. They took status effects and they break it down to status effects and debuffs. Debuffs are basically damage reduction, range reduction, speed attack increase, and everything that they're in between. And status effects are freaking stuns, snares, or whatever implies that the unit is no longer available. Kind of like when you're not able to sell your unit. That's a status effect. When the boss from the Marshall Island, the first one, steals away your unit with mind control, that's a status effect. But they are not immune to that one. Quite funny.
Vanguard units right now are so OP, they make other characters feel worthless.
He's wrong again, but not totally. He says that the Vanguard's unit makes every other unit useless. That's right, and it's not. You can see that with Vanguard Sanjino and Kaguya. They make everybody feel worthless, but he said Vanguards, he meant them all. There is Vegeta, there is Diavolo. They are not making everything feel useless. It's just a mechanic. He should have specified. He didn't.
Units are so OP, it really puts into question why even get any other character at all. Because Kaguya absolutely demolishes the EX stage, absolutely destroys it.
Godly units are so OP. Why would we take any other units? That take doesn't make any sense. Of course they are broken. They are meant to be OP. Of course. Maybe they are a little too OP. That could be the case. Yes, they could nerf them a little to make them more balanced. And why don't we take any Vanguard units with us? Well, there are, of course, lazy people, like you said earlier in the video, which I didn't show. Lazy people like Perry, who cannot be bothered to do Vanguard Sanjinu, or very unlucky people like you, sir, who's using Informal. Somehow you still don't have Kaguya, who do not have Kaguya. And even if they do, they might not get a good rate on them. Did you think of that one? No. He goes on to say that Kaguya is well too broken and she's debalancing the game. That's totally right. I totally agree. Kaguya is way too broken. That's why I grinded my ass off for her. Because she's just a cheat skill, quite literally.
Didn't test the EX stage using Jinwoo and Kaguya and were like, oh yeah, the EX stage is easy, guys. It's totally soloable. Seriously. You're gonna really tell me that that wasn't what was designed in mind? It wasn't Kaguya and Jinwoo because they are perfect for the stage.
Again, in my opinion, he manages to bitch about the EX stage. The funny part about the EX stage is that they dropped the difficulty of the EX stage because people cried in the update 6.0, the one with PvP, when they first introduced the EX stage. They cried about being way too hard. So they dropped the difficulty. That's why it's now solvable. Because you guys initially cried about it being way too hard and not being able to do it, or or barely even being able to do it. And now it's way too easy because again, you bitched about it. It's your fault as a player for complaining about it. It's not their fault. And if we are back on it about you as a player bitching about it, let's go back to Bicep's notification about the PT dropping 1,000 reals. I don't want to hear you guys in the future, in the short future, in the following updates, bitching about the stages being way too hard because the game balance will be totally changed because from now on, everybody will have more monarchs than you would think about it. In this day, it was taught to you at least having one, two, maybe three as a normal player, if you are lucky, or even more. But now you will have way, way more monarchs than you would think. So, of course, in the future, we will hear players bitch about being way too hard and hard to clear with full monarchs teams. Making a prediction here, of course. The next segment of his video is another long one in which he talks that Animal Astel made the elements worth it so that you do not carry only your two favorite Vanguard units or Godlies, which I totally agree with. Again, he had an impressively good take saying that Animal Astel did an impressive job and that Animal Vanguard should take notes on that one. Nagato really nailed the head on that elemental thing.
The familiar grind is terrible. They have been designing these familiars that are must-haves. Like, I assume also they do design stages with familiars in mind because of the difficulty. The Burb, for example, is so OP. I have like two good ones after grinding for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of completions. Like, I think 400 completions.
So what you're telling me, Nagato, is that you had the mental capacity of clearing hundreds of hundreds of hundreds of hundreds of hundreds of seed raids, when me as a casual player I was able to do only 96. Something smells a little informal by what he's talking about. Again, pissing me off because he's talking like he's really playing the game when he's not. Get a grip. But he's totally right with the familiar grind. It's horrible, but it's balanced. It balanced the trades out. That's what I think at least. It's worth grinding. But the following one, pissed me off the most. Look at that one.
Ones. The reason why familiars suck so much is the other mechanics around familiars. The reroll, these two are way too hard to get. I don't know why enemy Vanguards is so stingy, but these are way too far from obtainment. Like, you need to do the other.
Another good take. Anime Vanguards should allow you to get many more reels for familiars so that they will be even more balanced. However, they are stingy. That's another good one. They are stingy. That's their fault.
It's a terrible game what no one likes, but you barely get any. For the time spent playing Odyssey, you barely get anything out of it. It's so bad. I wouldn't mind playing Odyssey, but I played it for an hour, I barely got anything, and I was like, okay. And the corruption.
So let me pause the video right there so you can understand. He played for an hour. He barely got anything. And yet he has 110? Are you kidding me? You have 110 yet you played only for an hour? Oh my god. And now people are gonna say, wow, you barely got anything but you have 110. Where is this coming from? This is actually broken. Why did nobody tell us? Because it's not true. He again used this or this. He actually knows pretty well what this is. Nagato, please tell us, what is this? As somebody who played Odyssey quite dearly, I've played 100 floors in Odyssey. And I'm not lying, I have the video to prove it. And here is what I got playing 100 floors. 100 floors. This quite literally pisses me off. As you can see, 110 corruption tokens. And here is my video in which I've played 100 floors in Odyssey and I got 43 corruption tokens. So you're telling me you got 110 while you do not like the Odyssey game mode and you're not playing it. I, unlike him, have proof of playing it all myself on my Twitch channel. He's macroing. So what that means, he doesn't know the experience of the casual player. Taking in consideration that he has a full team of monarchs. He doesn't know what the casual player feels.
Fine, actually. I didn't see bugs really. There were some like posts on, oh, this was fixed, this was fixed. But generally speaking, AV updates are incredibly buggy. Hopefully this update, which wasn't, again, this update was not buggy, as far as I know. Hopefully this starts a trend of not having buggy updates anymore. But generally speaking, Anime Vanguard's updates are incredibly buggy, and I know tons of people don't even want to play on the first day because of that. PvP was unplayable.
He's totally right again. Nagato is 100% right. Players do not want to play the update night of Anime Vanguards. That's why it has so little people. Not only they quit on the game, but they don't want to play the first day because the first day is so much buggier. This AOT update was an exception. There were barely any bugs, and hopefully it will be like that from now on. But he's totally right. Players do not want to play in the first day because it's buggy.
Nonetheless, it's impossible not to compare the competitors of Anime Vanguards with Anime Vanguards. Talking about the premium price of Anime Last Stand, sorry, of Anime Vanguards, and compare that to its competitors, Anime Last Stand and All-Star Tower Defense, Anime Last Stand is fully free to play. You can make the same argument of difficulty for Anime Last Stand. Anime Last Stand does require you to have very good characters with the best trait for the sake of convenience as well.
For the sake of convenience? For the sake of convenience? Without glitch or avatar, you wouldn't be able to clear anything in that game.
The same example actually that I just did. Portals and Anime Vanguards are very hard, and you need Monarch characters for the sake of convenience, or you're gonna just bash your head against the wall because you hate it so much.
He goes on to say that the portals from Anime Last Stand are similar to Anime Vanguards. No, they are not, brother. We talked about this earlier. What you don't understand, and now I'm gonna get you in this one. If you wanna do portals in Anime Last Stand, you not only have to have like the most broken of the broken units, you also need glitch and avatar on them. If you want me to prove you wrong, I will do 10 portals in the on my stream right now at twitch.tv Dino110, just like my YouTube name. I'm gonna go on stream, just come into my stream and say do portals without Monarch. I'm gonna go do portals without my Monarch or Vanguard Sanjinu to prove you wrong. And I dare you, the casual player, go in Anime Last Stand, do not get any godlies or do not take any glitch or avatar unit you have and clear one of your portals. I dare you, I give you Overload, do it with Overload. But I'm just gonna prove you wrong. I can clear any portal you want besides the one that's obviously unbeatable, the Land of Gods. I'm gonna beat a portal without my buffs, without Arc, without Kaguya, without anything, or without my Vanguards, or without my my Monarchs. Your takes are just so unbelievably wrong when you're talking about portals and reels. Because in this game, you can do many things without Monarch, even though the game is starting to scale towards Monarch. You can still do them without. While in Anima Last, and if you don't have glitch or avatar, you are unable to freaking move in that game. You're so wrong in that. And that pisses me off. He goes on to talk about ASTDX's all-star trait being not needed, while Monarch is the same. Again, Monarch is not needed for anything. Neither is the all-star trait. They are basically the same, they are not at the same time. And All-Star is still a new game. Anime Vanguards is almost 15 updates in. Just wait until All-Star reaches at least 10 and we'll see that argument, if it still stands, that you don't need an All-Star trait. Just in due time, my friend.
Trait. I don't think for any activity All-Star trait is relevant on the new trial. Having an All-Star map should be nice actually, but generally speaking, no. It's not as big of a deal as having a Monarch. It's not even close. If you think it is, you just haven't played the game. I've played basically every character. Dude, you're talking to someone that actually grinds the game. I'm not waiting 5 months to get Jinwoo. I got it as soon as I could. I get every character as soon as I can.
Okay, my friend, Mr. Nagato, you really are playing the game. I really trust you. You really play the game. Is that true? Is that really true? I mean, do we agree that he really plays the game, guys? I might sound like a moron at this point, repeating myself that he really plays the game, but he really pushes the knife in the gut, saying that Monarch is needed when it's not. So I'm really gonna push the knife in the gut, saying that he really plays the game, you know? One for one. Do not act like you have the higher ground, because you don't. Do not ever say that you play the game when more than 80% of your gameplay is a freaking engine playing for you. You do not play the game, the engine does, and that pisses me off.
Is the relationship between the players and the devs. It feels like every single update, the players and the devs are fighting each other for no reason. I think the players of Anime Vanguards are very toxic. They have a very toxic relationship with Anime Vanguards. They expect a lot from Anime Vanguards, which is fair because the premium price tag. But they are very defensive about Anime Vanguards, but at the same time, very angry against its developers. And in return, the developers are very angry at their players back. Choke, if you can put on screen, this is a post Pysev, which is probably the best representation of a developer that fights its players day to day. Like I feel like every single day there's like Pysev is arguing with someone in general chat or something. Like can you
I do totally agree with this take that the community is against its own devs and the devs are against its own community because they have been trying something and that something wasn't really working and they acknowledge that. The problem was, and this is my opinion, and I do not protect Python. I really do not like what he's serving on my plate. Sometimes I find like Python it's really aggressive towards even the people who do not have anything with him. In my sims, people call him like a pedo for giving us curse curse units or skins, kind of like the Katakuri to Gender Band or Stolfo, then Rudius, and the people call him a PDF all in my chat and in many chats. And people do not really like Bicep. And I do not want to protect him because he really is he really acts like he's high and mighty. But what I totally agree with, and again, I'm not protecting Paisef, I'm totally against the community. I don't like the community, how it's behaving. And why do I say that? Is that whenever an update happens, or something happens, or anything in this world, a bug or something, the community act like they have the higher ground, act high and mighty, act like they are the lords, and demand recompensations for something that they are not even privileged to. The idea is the AV player just want something. Like Nagato said, they have high expectations of anime fanboys. They just want something, but they never give, they never say, they never do, they never give opinions. They just say, I want that, but they never say, can you do it like that? And that would be. And there are some people who actually do that, who actually give opinion, who actually have some good takes, and they are doing so, and the devs are really listening. But the majority, 99% of the players, they just talk and have no idea, which pisses me quite literally the fuck off. Like Nagato using an informal and saying he's playing. The community is just dumb and I cannot protect that. I do not protect Paisef, as I said. He really acts high and mighty, but sometimes he's right. Like this time, the community just attacked them, and they had no way of protecting. They responded fire with fire, and of course they had to back off because, come on, the fire was just too great. But again, I personally consider them not to be wrong in this case. Jiggle, jiggle, you still here? Come on, wakey, wakey. So this was my take on why the players are killing Anime Vanguards, not the devs. As I said, if you have anything to say towards me, just leave a dislike because I know you want to do, because I hated on you in this video. Leave a comment down below with what's the problem, or you can check out on my Twitch and just hate me in there. That's also a possibility. And now with the juicy information, why Nagato, it has been bought. As I said, I'm not gonna check this last piece because it's just Bicep going against its own player base. If you go outside of his video and actually read the comment section of Nagato, which I know not many people do, Brandon the boss is here. So people are speculating already after 6 hours of Nagato's post, 7 hours actually, that Brandon bought out Nagato, which I do not think is the case, but it's a very interesting theory. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one or in my stream. Bye!